Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello, I'm Fahmi Zufarian from Research Methodology class. Here I'm about to explain about my thesis proposal. My thesis proposals are mainly discussing about the implementation of speech recognition as a method for a deaf translator. So basically, by the end, I'm thinking about making an application that able to translate spoken language and translate it into a sequence of images explaining word by word and stitch the whole image so it creates some kind of like video clip. We're going to start from research background. We all know that deafness is one condition where the person is having difficulties in hearing, where most of the time the sufferer is also having bad issues in communicating with other people. To overcome with such problem, deaf people is trying to communicate to us and others using sign language. Unlike ASL as an official sign language for USA citizen and BSL for British, Indonesia has its own sign language. Here we have CB, it stands for Sistem Bahasa Isyarat Indonesia, and Bisindo, Bahasa Isyarat Indonesia. Differences between one with the other is that Bisindo is like deaf people's first language taught to them since they were recognized as the one who has a hearing problem. Bisindo is also famous in deaf people community because it is easy to practice since in a real-world implementation it uses the whole activity to perform the sign language. For example, we use word belajar in Bisindo. It has its own unique hand movement for word learning or belajar in Indonesia. It is different case in CB. CB needs extra prefix or suffix to complete the whole phrase. So that could be one of the reasons why deaf people speaks in Bisindo naturally. CB language is taught in SLB or Sekolah Luar Biasa as a formal language for deaf student in SLB. Socialization about Bisindo to the community and government is a bit minimum. Also, the creation of CB language doesn't involve deaf community enough, so CB is still hardly accepted by most of deaf people. Researchers found out that 65% sign language that grows in Yogyakarta and Jakarta has similar purpose on meaning, but they're having different way to deliver. Sign language is become mother tongue, or in Indonesia is bahasa ibu, to a deaf child and can be taught as the child has already at 6 years old, meaning that they have to start to study at elementary school. In this situation is SLB or special school. CB and Bisindo is one of learning media for us to understand and learn sign language well in the form of a book. Practically, the use of a book nowadays is a bit less effective compared to app-based technology. By conducting this research to the next level, it means we can help to raise the will of learning sign language more, because inside the application will not only contain text explaining the sign language activity, but also mini video clips and pictures to help deaf people learn this by visual. Technology has a vital position in this era. In the implementation, the use of technology can be used by all people, also disabled people without any exception. People that having more than a severe hearing loss is called profound hearing impairment. It is a condition where people only can hear sound within 95 decibel intensity. Meanwhile, a normal conversation is at 60 to 70 decibel. So people who suffer from profound hearing impairment will likely rely on lip reading or rather buying a hearing aid. In this time of year, speech recognition is rapidly developed. This can be proved by looking at a bunch of applications that uses In this time of year, speech recognition is rapidly developed. This can be proved by looking at a bunch of applications that uses artificial intelligence in their implementation, and also as a gimmick feature inside a personal assistant in many operating systems. Speech recognition is one of system development where it can let computer process an audio input from us speaking language, then translate it into a machine readable format. Research about the implementation of speech recognition to make a translating machine from normal language to sign language has already been done by scientists and researchers. Thus, this research topic is still widely open to seek a better approach and model to solve the whole problem. In this research, we will be conducting on how speech recognition method is going to be implemented inside a Python language, and then it will be combined with sequences of images stitching method. So it will produce translated language from speaking language to a set of pictures about every word in sign language in the form of a mini video clip. Since my knowledge about speech recognition and thing is a bit limited, for the next dinner round, I will do more research, so I hope in the future I can conduct this presentation again in the next opportunity with more preparation and research. For that, I'm sorry about my knowledge limitation, and you can correct me or give me suggestion if I made mistake on explaining these things about speech recognition method. The research advantages are pretty straightforward. As we can see, some advantages that writer might want to achieve are: first, we hope it can make ease of communication between deaf people to the people who doesn't understand how to sign language. Second, we will create a place where we can learn sign language and make a communication medium between people. Third is the results of this research is hoped to be source and reference on the use of speech recognition and sequence of image stitching as a translator for deaf people. The next is literature review. Wendy Liga and team designed an application for deaf people in Android platform. He uses HMM algorithm. It stands for Hidden Markov Model, founded by Andrei Andreevich Markov, renowned mathematician from Russia. At first, this algorithm is just a theoretical concept or model, but then it is being developed for speech recognition in the early 1970s. The way it works is by changing sound input into a vector using a male frequency substrate coefficients or MFCC as an extraction method, and it will be continued with acoustic models contain sound spectrum vector from different pieces or part of the syllables, which will be saved and compared to sound that is going to be analyzed. Pronunciation dictionary is a set of syllables which are going to be compared with the results of speech recognition. This is the data that is going to be used and matched with the input voice. Language model is a probability distribution over sequences of words. Language model is used to quicken similar word searching. The use of language model will help a lot in terms of speech recognition process, because syllables are just too much to be processed manually. Different from the research that is conducted by Wendy Liga and team, Ilona Damayanti Sami Waskito made a learning application and a paper all about sign language. Even though Waskito didn't make translator system like the one Wendy Liga did, the idea about data collecting related to sign language, also mini quiz idea on how to perform sign language, it supports the creation of this research. I guess that is all about my thesis proposal explanation. Thank you for listening and try to understanding these things with me. All critiques and suggestions are open to help me improvise this research. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.